Well, hello again, everyone, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined today by Bert Hernandez, who is the new Senior Vice President of International for Royal Caribbean. This is his first interview for a UK market. We're actually on board Wonder of the Seas as we're doing this interview, which is absolutely phenomenal. But Bert, people perhaps don't know you, so tell us a little bit about what you've been doing previously and about your new role.
Well, first, Lucy, thanks for having me, and it's great to meet you. I've heard great things about you. So I have been working in the China office for the last 5 years as president of Royal Caribbean China. Previous to that, I was the head of financial planning, deployment, corporate strategy. I was the head of revenue for Celebrity. So I've had a bunch of different roles within the company. I've been here now for 17 years. So this is a new role for me, but it's familiar, and I know a lot of the people involved, and I'm really excited.
Brilliant. All right, and you keep hold of China in this new role, but you now take on the rest of the international
I do,
markets.
yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so as we speak today, I think you've got your whole fleet now back operating, which is just so exciting after the last couple of years.
It really is, and we're so excited and relieved that it's there's been hiccups along the way, but everything, knock on wood, is gone the way we hoped it would go. I think you've seen and you've heard that the guest ratings are the best they've ever been. Crew satisfaction is at all-time high. So I think things are really moving in the right direction, and we're very, very pleased.
Okay, and when we talk about that right direction, talk about customer demand, because obviously
yes.
There's a lot in your fleet, a lot of capacity, and you obviously want to fill it. But are consumers ready to come back cruising now?
They are, and we just had our earnings call, I think yesterday. I don't know if the time difference, but I think it was yesterday, and we've had a series of record-breaking weeks. Every week is getting better. And we were obviously coming from a different position where we didn't have the volume that we would normally have at this time of the year. So we were behind from that perspective, but we're definitely making up ground. The demand is stunning. We're very excited about that. And, we still think that there is opportunity to even grow that as some of these barriers and friction points start to come down. I mean, for instance, as an American, tomorrow I fly home, and I didn't realize this, but I had to take an antigen test and test negative, obviously, to be able to fly home.
Yeah.
And I did test negative.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. So you think demand is good, but you think it could get even better as I guess more of these restrictions are lifted and people just feel more confident.
Yes, and as we stabilize the ships that are coming online, obviously when you try to introduce this much capacity into the marketplace so quickly, there is a little bit of disarray. But we've seen that stabilize, and we're just now growing sequentially every week.
Yeah, but in terms of encouraging people back, are you having to? I mean, we've heard that the prices are sort of the best they've ever been if you wanted to sail in 2022, and now's the time to book a cruise because you're keen to get those ships full.
Well, some of the pricing, that's not really consistent with some of the data that we're seeing. I mean, from a pricing perspective, for 22, we've been very close to 2019 levels. Okay. But we are having to encourage, particularly, for instance, Americans to travel to Europe.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit of a barrier because of the flight capacity, because of the different regulations, and that's why we're relying more heavily on the European sourcing model, the UK sourcing. But I think there is improving demand, and that it's happening very rapidly, and we're feeling comfortable about it.
Yeah, and the fact that perhaps Americans aren't quite so confident to travel, is that an opportunity actually for the UK market, people who are watching this today?
Oh, absolutely, and we recognize that, and I think that's one of our real advantages, core advantages for Royal Caribbean. Our global footprint really allows us to pivot when necessary, and this is a moment in which the UK market, the Spanish market, the European market are going to play a bigger role in Europe this summer.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of ships.
Yeah,
I think
for
8
sure.
ships this year,
Yeah.
9 ships next year. So it's not, it's the fly cruise market to Europe from the UK is really, really big for you, and you need agents to get behind that.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But the other thing they'll want to know, they always want to know, is if you are going to be putting any more capacity into Southampton for that sort of ex-UK cruise, which is so popular. We've heard that it's Anthem, who is already brilliantly sold for 2022. So that opportunity is kind of almost gone, and they're having to look to the fly cruising. But are we ever going to get another ship sailing out
ships.
of Southampton?
Well, there's always that opportunity. We're looking at it, and as you can imagine, our growth trajectory is sizable. So we would probably expect to take a ship a year, even though that's not been formalized. And those ships will be going to different locations. So I think it's not unreasonable to expect something like that to happen in 24 and beyond.
In 24, so maybe not 23. That's
no.
too
I
soon.
think we're pretty set there for 23.
Because you haven't announced your deployment for 24 yet. So,
No,
So
yeah.
and when would you do that?
Well, I have to discuss with my VP of EMEA, but I think that would happen around, I think, the fall of this year.
Okay.
We would start doing that.
And then you talk about getting a new ship every year. So is there a chance that we would get new hardware, a brand new ship into the UK?
We look at that every year. Obviously, the financials dictate where the new hardware goes. I mean, this ship here was going to China. Something that I worked, tirelessly on, and it's bittersweet to be on it, but. We as the markets develop, we look at where the opportunities are, and that's where the hardware goes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if we keep selling
if things keep going well, then I think there's a good chance.
You've got to drive a hard bargain. Haven't you? Okay. Let's just talk about your sort of distribution strategy. We have heard that direct business has been a bit stronger for you coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But obviously the audience here are travel agents.
Sure.
So what is the opportunity for travel agents working with Royal Caribbean and cruise in general as we come more into this recovery and out of that real survival mode?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things we've observed with the travel agent community is that those travel agents that have adopted technology a little bit more have come back faster.
Yeah.
We're seeing this in America. I think Europe is seeing it. The labor force is very constrained. So being able to rely and leverage technology is a good way to lower your overhead and to get back into the market quicker, more effectively and efficiently. So I think that's an opportunity for the travel agent community. The other thing we've seen really evolve, and being gone for 5 years essentially in China and returning, I've seen how things have evolved. And really the adoption of social media as a platform to really connect with their guests and their clients is something that we're seeing a lot of opportunity with, not only from the cruise brand standpoint, but from the agent standpoint.
Yeah. And it's such a great product to sort of showcase on social
right.
media. I mean,
yeah.
on Wonder, the social output was absolutely incredible. People showcasing
absolutely.
all the features on this show.
And you see it. I mean, with live stream, that capability of really giving people a up close and personal view of the ship is something that traditionally we weren't able to do with still photographs or even with a video that you kind of just play independently.
Yeah. So they need to up their game, making sure they're
for sure,
top of their game.
Everybody needs to evolve.
Exactly. But in terms of your support for the trade, whether that be through how you remunerate them or training or opportunities to see the ship, is that all sort of something that's going to really come back into your sort of strategy?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I don't think it ever left. I mean, I was really proud of how we did that throughout the pandemic. Obviously, financially, we were not in a great position, but we did everything in our power, and I believe we went above and beyond to really protect the travel agents, to show them how much we care about them, how much they mean to us. So I think you'll continue to see that. This is one example here where we're showcasing the ship, inviting everybody to have a good time. So that'll continue, yes.
And training-wise, because I don't know whether it's been the same in other markets, but certainly in the UK we've lost a lot of people from the industry, and so the people now setting us up, some of them are very new to travel, and so that whole training piece is going to become even more important. Is that something that you'll be really helping the agents with? Yeah,
it will, and I think you'll see that. And one of the advantages of having maybe empty cabins to begin with is that we can take advantage and have people come and experience the product and train them in that way. So. Okay, excellent. Now, we can't have an interview with a Royal Caribbean executive without talking about innovation, because it's a buzzword that it literally just is, links to Royal Caribbean, doesn't it? You're always innovating. So what is on the horizon? Can you give us, we've got new ships coming, we've got Icon class coming. I don't know whether you can give us any sort of spoilers about what might be on Icon class. I think will be something that will really revolutionize the industry. We're not going to get into the specifics of it, but it will be the first time that we introduce a new class in the brand in over a decade. And it is a truly special class of ship. I think everybody will be in awe of it. I think we've already announced that Utopia, Oasis 6, will be delivered, and that will come out.
And will that be the same as Wonder? Or
It will have, yes, it will be the same platform, but there's always little nuances that change. For instance, this ship
is quite, there's lots of new features here.
Now, we did that more because we were going to China with the ship, but we've kind of looked at it and said, wow, this works in a lot of markets. The covered solarium, I think, is a beautiful feature that people
really
love.
well in the UK market.
Of course. Yes, I'm sure it would. I'm sure it would, yeah.
Okay,
right.
so Utopia may have new things on, and we were talking about how the demand for the suites and the balcony cabins is actually really, really high coming out of the pandemic. People wanting that little bit more outside space. And perhaps being prepared to pay for it, having been cooped up and not spending their money for a while. So, is there a chance that Utopia might have more suites on board, or more balconies?
Well, I think one of the things we did with this ship that was based off of something we did with Spectrum of the Seas in China, which is we developed a suite neighborhood. So. And it's worked fantastic in China, and we can see here that it's going to work great. I mean, it's a wonderful space. I'm sure you've experienced it, so hopefully you enjoyed it. And I think you'll continue to see that in new ships coming out.
Okay. All right. And then innovation as well. I mean, it's not just on board with you guys, is it? Because you've got your private islands, and that's always something we want to hear about. I think some agents will have now had a chance to experience Perfect Day, which has the most incredible ratings ever, and you're adding Hideaway Beach to that. I don't know if you can tell us any more about what that will involve.
Well, just the private destination concept is something that we really feel passionate about, and it works financially, it works for the guests, it works for the trade, so it's a win-win for everybody. Finding those perfect destinations is difficult, but we've identified several around the globe. I think we've talked about Aleppo.
Which is in the South Pacific.
Yes, that was something that we were, that I was very involved in, and we were very
delayed though now, but
it will be. But it'll come. It'll come out.
Okay.
And we're always looking for opportunities for those types of investments.
And when you look around the globe, would you ever look at Europe? Or
absolutely, yeah.
You would. Okay.
Yeah.
Because some people say, well, particularly with Americans coming over, which port of call do you take out?
Yeah.
Because they're so desperate to see all the iconic cities that your ships go to on your European itineraries. So, could you put a private island call in, but do you think that would be demand for that?
Yeah, and I think particularly from the UK market, that would be something that would be much in demand. But your point is very well noted. I mean, we've understood that. That's why we've looked at it a little bit more carefully to understand the dynamics and the financials there. But we think there is an opportunity, particularly for the European market and for the UK market.
Okay, all right. Watch this space.
Yeah.
We'll have to see when you announce a European island. We'd love that. All right, we haven't got lots of time, but we must touch on Royal Caribbean's sustainability strategy. It's becoming a topic of every conversation now. Everybody wants to know that you're... I think every ship you're bringing out is 20% more energy efficient, but just tell us a little bit about how important that is to you as an organisation.
Well, it's been foundational for us, going back 30 years when we established the Save the Waves campaign, but it's really evolved to be something much greater than that. It goes beyond everything from fuel efficiency to waste management to emissions control. So it's broad-based. It's something that we take very seriously, that we're focused on. We're very proud of the investments that we've made, and we feel like we've advanced the technology that's allowed some of these things to happen. And just to give you, some color on it, our variable compensation is partly tied to these metrics, tangible metrics around sustainability. So it's something we take very seriously, something we measure, and something we reward or penalize if we do not meet the objectives that we've set.
And are customers making, choices now based on that? Do they want to, are they prepared to pay for it, or is it just that they want to know that you're doing the right thing, or
We never find that they're willing to pay for it, but we do recognize that it's important to them. Yeah. It's important to us. It's very important to the communities that we visit.
Yeah.
So it's essential to our way forward.
Yeah, because I interviewed Lisa Lutoff-Perlo recently, and she was saying it's much more important to the company than it
I think
actually
so.
is to the consumer, but she is hopeful that that will kind of meet in the middle at some point.
Yeah, and that would be sensible to expect that.
All right, okay. Now, the theme of our Clear conference this year is Love Cruise. So I have two final questions.
Sure,
So
sure.
the first one is, why do you love cruise? Second one is, why do consumers love Royal Caribbean?
Well, I love cruise and Royal Caribbean. It's just part of my life.
Yeah.
I have two daughters. They grew up on these ships. They learned how to ice skate on Royal Caribbean.
Oh, that's cool.
My daughter my oldest is a rock climbing enthusiast that she learned from Royal Caribbean. So it's a very big part of our life. And there is something special about having, your wife and children be so proud of the place that you work, and to do what we do is so exciting, right? To give these great experiences and memories to our customers is really an unbelievable way to spend your time.
Yeah.
I think cruising is special, and Royal Caribbean is special for everyone, for the guests, because of the crew. It really is. The first time I took a cruise, I was a young man. I'd never been on a ship. I had no money. It was given to me. It was after 9/11, where basically like now, where you could actually get on a cruise at a reasonable price and at a very discounted rate. And I was just amazed that I was treated in the way I was treated.
Right.
And I had never had that kind of service ever. And at that moment, it really dawned on me that this is something I wanted to participate in. So I think that resonates with guests, obviously, to be valued, to be respected, to be served. They appreciate it, and I think our crew just do an unbelievable job at that.
Yeah, well, I've experienced it in the last day or so, so it's absolutely fantastic. When are we going to see you over in the UK, Bert? You're going to come and visit us?
Well, very soon. My wife is from Norwich, so
so
good. We will have to be going back to visit my in-laws quite soon. And I'll be coming over quite a bit.
And Michael Bailey did hint that he might bring Icon and pay us a visit as well when she's.
It looks like she'll be doing for sure a stopover. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see you then as well. And of course, you have to come and keep an eye on Ben Balding as well.
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a rascal sometimes.
Exactly. All right, we're really grateful for your time. It's wonderful to meet you. Thank you very much for giving your first interview to the Clear conference in the UK. We're really grateful, and we'll see you soon.
Well, thank you, Lucy. Thank you.